It was clear to Yin that some of the ladies in the court do not like each other. In fact, most of them do not like Yin. Maybe it's the fact that most ladies are seeking it for a chance to marry the king, yet Yin was a chosen one. Yin had considered them lucky for not marrying the king. But there were times when the ladies got along. One of those times is when dresses from the West are delivered. This one is absolutely stunning. Yaoyorozu beamed as she gawked at the gown in her hands. The color suits you, Yamomo. Mina compliments the ravenette as she goes through the other gowns. You said you can make anything. I reckon you could make gowns as well. Yin said to Yaoyorozu, who dropped the gown and put a hand on her chest. That would have been against the rules. I'd like it if the merchants were to earn more money. Yin smiled at her. Yaoyorozu's control over her quirk is splendid. She does not abuse it. I tell her that too, but that's what she always says, Mina remarked. Then she shuddered over to the other piles of gowns. Your Majesty? Suddenly, Lady Yuri approached Yin, and her hand is a very beautiful red dress. I think this suits you very well. Yin was caught off guard, a little bit because she was always seeing Lady Yuri with Lady Kami, and Lady Kami, along with her friends, does not get along with Yin very well. Lady Yuri handed the red dress to Yin. The queen examined it while Lady Yuri beamed at her. The dress was more like a deep red color infected with gold, and the elegant patterns were sewn on the bossinette. That's so pretty, Yaoyorozu said as she got beside Yin and looked at the dress. Indeed, I reckon it would fit Her Majesty. Lady Yuri grinned. Yaoyorozu took a glance on Yin in the dress. Now that you've mentioned it, it does suit her. Lady Yuri let out a squeal. You should wear it tonight, Your Majesty. I shall consider that, Lady Yuri. Yin smiled. Thank you for presenting it to me. Lady Yuri curtsied and joined her friends once again. After she left, Mina approached once again, but this time a very reckless and excited Kaminari is beside her. In Mina's hands a letter. Yamomo! Kaminari and Mina both called to the ravenette. Kaminari-san! Yaoyorozu addressed the male. Listen, Yaoyorozu, the blonde male said. I received a letter from Jiro. A sudden wide grin appeared on Yaoyorozu's face. She dropped the dress and went closer to her friends. Yin was left to wonder who this Jiro person is. What does it say? Yaoyorozu asked. It's good news, Mina just said excitedly. Well, what is it? Yaoyorozu asked. She finished her play from all the other kingdoms, and now she's coming home, Kaminari said. She will be arriving tomorrow. Apparently, this Jiro person is Kyoko Jiro, another one of their very close friends. She's a musician. She's very good at playing several instruments. And you have to hear her voice, Yin. Mina filled her in with information. Currently, they were in the private dining room. Upon the news of their dear friend coming back, Mina, along with Kirishima, Kaminari, Sero, and Yaoyorozu, gathered for dinner. They decided to eat with Bakugou and Yin, and include them with whatever they're planning for Jiro's arrival. Midnight is here, too. Let us ask her to play for Yin at the party, then, Midnight suggested. Huh? What party? Bakugou asked from the head of the table. We were just discussing what we planned to welcome party for Jiro, Mina said. Why the hell should we do that? Because she's our friend, Bakugou, Kaminari said this time. Yeah, Sero agreed. It's been like, 4 months since she went away for her plays. Kirishima then said, It's just a simple dinner party, Bakugou. Just as friends. The blonde let out a sigh boredly. Fine, do whatever you want. Don't forget you're invited, as well as Yin, Mina reminded. Bakugou merely looked at her, while Yin smiled at Mina gratefully. If you'd like, we can actually have a big party. Who knows? We might party for days, Midnight suggested. We could. Yaoyorozu seemed to be considering. But it was for Jiro-san, and she does not like to party very much. Also, she prefers a party with less people. Kaminari nodded, agreeing with Yayorozu. She's right, a simple party would fit Jiro more. I agree as well. Yin spoke to Midnight. I mean, partying for days sounds tiring, and it would cost so much. Midnight then chuckled. Oh no, that's no problem at all, dear. Did you know, back when I was younger, the court used to party for weeks. Sometimes we partied for months. Months? Yin muttered, a bit bewilderment. Midnight nodded. Yes, we would dance all night. There was lots of wine, cake, and wild times. Did you just say, Yin now was perplexed look on her face, thoroughly shocked by the culture of Igneous. For once, I agree with Sparkles over there, Bakugou said, causing Yin to look at him. I don't get why you extras like to stay up, getting drunk, and dancing to loud, shitty music. It's Igneous, Bakugou. We are proud people. Midnight turned to the blonde. Do you remember what time when your father told us he took you hunting, and you were 9 at that time, and you killed your first ever tiger? He was 9? Yin asked again. Yes, we were so proud of him, we partied for weeks. Yin saw Bakugou sigh externally. He drowned on his scotch once again. I wasn't even there, Bakugou muttered. You're not. But that didn't stop us from celebrating. Your mother wouldn't admit it, but I can tell she's proud, hence why she let the party went on for a week. Midnight added. Yin then noticed Bakugou flinch slightly. But now, we don't get to party like that anymore. Your husband found it unnecessary, Midnight said to Yin. It is unnecessary. Midnight merely scoffed at his response. She turned to Yin once again. Anyways, dear, are you pregnant? For the 9th time, Yin was taken aback. The question was all so sudden and random. What? No, she answered honestly. Suddenly, Midnight's gaze turned dark, and she shifted her eyes to Bakugou. I see, she said with a hint of venom in her voice. You might have to work on that as soon as possible. Bakugou ticked his tongue and glared at Midnight. Yin was once again brought back to the issue of the heir. It's been a few days, yet the issue hasn't disbanded. Yin hopes that if she waited for days to pass, everyone would forget about it, but it clearly wasn't the case. She was set on not having a child till the coup succeeded, but at the same time, everyone around her is pressuring her into getting pregnant. She told Bakugou why she can't, but the man didn't listen. For now, Yin is following Uraka's advice. Agree, but do not comply. But that won't stand for long. Yin must take actions. Right now, she's racking her brain on how to stop them from pressuring her. Would it suffice if Yin was to show the court that her and Bakugou were at least trying? She then looked at her husband to find him glaring at her. Not possible. Yin shook her head inwardly. She wished she could tell the court that Bakugou and her are not in an ideal relationship, and consumers wouldn't be too possible. So, Midnight snapped Yin out of her thoughts. The dinner party. The sound of their chattering and utensils clacking filled her ears. Yin decided to listen to their plan. The next day, everyone was excited for Jiro's arrival. Yin was told Jiro would arrive tonight. But this morning, Kaminari was already giggity for some reason. Yin does not know, but she reckons his friends know as they teased him for being too nervous. In order to ease his nerves, Kaminari invited everyone to go hunting. Bakugou was the first to agree. Yayorozu decided to join them and invite Mina and Yin as well. So right now, everyone is walking around in a safer part of the woods, reserved for nobles to go hunting. Yayorozu is so brave, Yin said to Mina as she watched Yayorozu carrying a musket, searching for a target. You don't see women carrying guns most of the time, Mina commented. Bang! God damn it, Dunspace, aim better! Bakugou's voice echoed as Kaminari missed another shot once again. The group ventured deeper into the forest, and eventually Mina decided to accompany Kirishima. Yayorozu was now ahead, and for some unknown reason, Yin found herself walking beside the blonde king. You saw how R18 reacted last night, he started. Yin was unfamiliar with that nickname, but she assumed it was Midnight. That woman has been getting on my nerves, bothering me to finally make a move. He knows it's the air issue he's talking about again. I told you already. I'm not ready. Bakugou stopped walking. Not ready? Are you just scared? Yin looked at him, as if he's accusing her of something she's not. Well, it's rather difficult to share a bed with a man who tried to kill you. I did not try to kill you, he said, raising his musket and started walking again. Of course, because leaving me in the middle of the woods, chased by wolves, is not trying to kill me. Suddenly, Bakugou aimed his musket and fired a shot. Yin flinched at the loud sound of the gun and looked ahead to see that the shot fired a hare. Yin immediately looked away while Kirishima and the others immediately rushed to collect it. I don't want to kill you. I did it to scare you out of your wits. If I really wanted to kill you, you would be dead cold by now, he said, reloading the musket. After that, he faced Yin with a fixed glare. Everyone is fucking annoying. And I know you know that too. If you don't want them shoving their noses up on your ass, you better get over yourself. And you're suggesting that meet me tonight. Yin fixed her gaze on him, then said, Fine. At this point, Yin knew it won't be long before the court people will assert and screaming their request to Yin's face. She had learned that being the monarch, it won't only be the people she had to deal with, but the demanding court as well. You did what? Uraka was a little bellivered when Yin told her what happened. Don't worry, Uraka, I'm not planning on having a child yet. I merely agreed to meet him, not to consummate, she assured the servant who was currently tightening her corset. Yin is getting ready for Jiro's arrival and for the party. She decided to wear the red dress Lady Yuri handed to her yesterday. The dress did fit her well. It has a tight corset which lifted her bust, and it was wide collar which showed most of her shoulders. Scandalous. Are you sure, Your Majesty? What if things escalate and I won't let him get his way, she stated. I decided I will only do this to ensure the nobles. I'll have Midnight see that something will happen to calm the court. But I won't let anything happen, Uraka. Uraka looked at her hesitantly. I hope you have this under control, Your Majesty. I will, Yin reassured. And can I ask for something? What is it, Your Majesty? I need a key to my chambers. Everyone had gathered by the doors of the palace. Yin arrived to see everyone very excited. They waited until a carriage arrived. It stopped in front of them. Kaminari, stop talking about Jiro. She's already here, Yin heard Sero. Just then, a woman with dark purple hair got down from the carriage. As soon as she saw the crowd waiting for her, she broke into a wide smile. Then, she was in front of them, and she curtsied to Bakugou and Yin. When she got up, her friends immediately went to her and greeted her. Soon, everyone went for the dinner party. Let's toast for Jiro, Kaminari yelled as soon as everyone got their wine. Multiple clanking sounds reverberated through the room, and soon music was played with everyone eating their dinner. Pleasant talks were shared between people. Jiro is currently occupied by Yairozu and Mina, who asked her about her travels. When the men were left to themselves, Midnight had kept Yin occupied. I must say that dress is made for you, Yin, Midnight complimented, to which Yin blushed. Well, I have Lady Yuri to thank. How very bold, Midnight said, pointing at the exposed shoulder of Yin. I don't get to wear dresses like this. In fact, this may be the first time I've worn something so bold. Midnight smiled. You should wear a lot of this then. Your stature is very emphasized. Well, thank you. As Yin turned to take a sip of her wine, she suddenly caught a pair of scarlet eyes. Yin was a little startled to see Bakugou giving her an intent gaze. It wasn't a glare, but at the same time, it's not the softest look either. Yin broke the eye contact when she felt another presence behind her. She looked to see that Yaoyorozu and Mina behind them is Jiro. Your Majesty, Jiro curtsied. Yin moved to the side and faced her. Please, call me Yin. The purple-haired woman looked hesitant. Are you sure, Your Majesty? That would be improper. It is all right. A dear friend of Mina and Yaoyorozu's is a friend of mine as well. Yin smiled. That's it. Oh, yeah, that is, if you'd like to be my friend. Oh, of course, Your Majesty. Mina grinned. See, I told you she's very nice. Jiro nodded. I was wondering why she'd end up with Bakugou. Yin blinked at her statement. Jiro noticed that what she said and suddenly looked apologetically. Before she could even apologize, Yin let out a laugh. I too started to wonder why. Yin muttered under her breath. Soon, Yin has entered a conversation with the three of them, mostly to Jiro. I've heard you're a very talented musician, Jiro. Yin started. What instruments do you play? Well, it's not much. She smiled sheepishly. She's lying. Mina begged to differ. She can play lots of instruments, Yin. She's just too humble to admit it. Yaoyorozu nodded proudly, taking a sip of her wine. It's something you should be proud of, Jiro. Yin assured. Well, I can play the violin, harp, flute, and cello. Yin smiled in amazement. That's amazing. Really, I can only play one of those instruments you mentioned. Oh, which one? Mina asked. The cello, although I'm not quite proficient at it. I play the cello as well, Yaoyorozu said, and sometimes I have Jiro-san to teach me. Suddenly, Yin had an idea. Would it be all right if you were to teach me as well? Jiro blinked, then grinned. Of course, Yin. It would be grand. Thank you. Soon the woman broke apart when midnight announced the time for Jiro to play. The said woman excused herself and grabbed her violin while everyone settled down, waiting for her to play. From the corner of her eyes, Yin saw a pair of scarlet eyes once again. She had noticed that Bakugou had been drinking a lot since the start of dinner. As soon as Jiro got to the center, everyone fell silent. Jiro placed the violin over her collarbone. Her chin rested on it, as her shoulder went left hand supported the violin. Gently she placed a bow over the violin, and she moved it. She produced a tone like a smooth, rippling wave. Before they all knew it, everyone is enchanted by the sensual and formidable tone of Jiro's violin. It was like Jiro was pouring out all of her emotion and passion as she bowed the strings, sending a sensational tone to everyone, touching their skin, leaving a tingly yet graceful sense. Yin almost forgot the plan she will forgo in a moment, almost. If not for burning sensation of her husband's eyes on the back of her head, she might as well just drill a hole into Yin's head. Yin didn't dare to move. She shifted her television focus back on Jiro, and the beautiful tone she bows, trying to build her focus on the play at hand. However, the piece of music has increased, and Yin felt like the music will end soon. She readied herself for the final slash of Era's bow, and soon it ended. Everyone clapped loudly, Kaminari shouting and whistling for Jiro. Yaoyorozu clapped much louder, Yin applause as well. She can still feel the vibrations of the beautiful tune and hear the sensational music. Splendid! Yin complimented Jiro as she soon joined them. The purple-haired woman thanked Yin. Everyone was crowding on Jiro, beaming at her with her performance having just finished. Yin let her eyes wander and met the scarlet pair. That was her cue. Yin excused herself and walked to Midnight. I'm afraid I have to retire to my chambers now, she said to Midnight. The older woman raised a bow. So soon? Oh well, you sleep tight. Yin smiled. I don't think I could yet. Then she purposely looked at Bakugou. When she turned her head back to Midnight, the woman had a knowing and satisfied smile on her face. I see, she slurred. Enjoy the night. Yin then went on and marched outside. She then looked back to see that Bakugou is following and is ready set on meeting her tonight. I went past Midnight. Yin thought of her own little victory. She had successfully made Midnight believe that her and Bakugou will at least try. She had successfully made Midnight I read the same thing. All that's left to do is lose Bakugou. Every time she looked back, he was still following. Yin had increased her pace and walked fast to her room. She felt for her key of her chambers in her pocket. Yin then made her last turn where her chambers is now in sight. She walked faster and almost started to run. Finally, was in front of her door. All she needs to do is get the key and open the door. Then she's finally safe. She doesn't have to meet with him. That hope was crushed when she suddenly felt a hand grab her arm, and she suddenly turned to be face to face with the looming figure of her husband. You broke the deal, woman. Yin, for good measures, had expected this to happen. So, in order to stop Bakugou from ranting on, she knew she has no choice but to act. If she were to fool to the court, she might as well fool its king. Before the blonde could even yell out his disappointment and anger, Yin had raised a hand and placed it on the back of his head. It didn't take a while when her lips crashed onto his. And she was so timid on the first few seconds their lips touched. Bakugou snapped out of it and gripped both sides of her face. He parted ways for a few centimeters. Yin then reversed. I didn't. Bakugou glared. I swear I'll fucking kill you one day. Yin thought that was the end. She thought she didn't need to act to convince him that she didn't break the deal of making him. No. Bakugou pulled Yin's head and their lips crashed once again. Yin placed her hands on his chest. The pressure from his lips was too much. Yin could feel her knees giving up. Suddenly, Bakugou snaked a hand around her waist to prevent her from falling. Yin tilted her head as he continued to kiss her. Then he pulled her close. Then closer, much more closer. Yin removed her hands from his chest and wrapped them around his neck. As they continued locking their lips, Bakugou had pushed her against the doors of her chambers. He then broke the kiss, and the two finally got to catch their breaths. Yin then felt his other hand grab the back of her neck, and his lips started to trail down her neck, sucking on her exposed skin. The moan exhaled from Yin, and she quickly clasped her hand over her mouth. It didn't help that he was now found her sweet spot. It stayed there, sucking and licking on the spot. Yin could not prevent herself from gasping and moaning. But now their bodies latched onto each other. The gap within them was long closed. Yin felt him move against her. His lips dangerously trailed down further, getting closer and closer to her chest. Yin knew that this has to stop. She put her hands on the back of his chest, to push him away from. But Bakugou raised his head and claimed her lips once again. He growled on her lips, kissing her hard. Their teeth clashing. Yin whimpered. Then she shakily clasped of the handle of her door. She opened it, and almost lost her balance when it opened. Yin stepped back in her chambers, but not allowing Bakugou to enter. She then found her strength and pushed him away. Panting, the woman gazed up on him with half-lit eyes before he could even lean in again. Yin had pushed him away, and Bakugou watched as a smirk made its way on her lips. Then she whispered, "Good night." The double doors had shut on his face with a clicking sound of a lock. Bakugou remained unmoving. progressing what just happened, but instead of slamming his fist on the door and yell, he found himself looking down. He rested his hand and arm on the doors as he felt a familiar ache in his pants, something he had never felt before. A long time of not having a woman for a while? Fuck, he groaned.